Hello, are you here to debate?
Yes, I am.
All right. What's your name, age, and pronouns?
My name is Lewis. I am 20 years old. Pronouns are he, him.
Okay, Lewis, what do you disagree with on the board?
So, if anything, I disagree a lot with the Maga or uneducated aspect. That's probably the thing I disagree with the most.
Okay, why do you disagree
I
with
think
that?
the reason. Oh, sorry. The reason I disagree with it is because a lot of it has to do with personal experience. Because I would consider myself a bit of like a Walmart American, fairly standard. I mean, kind of a normal person. I work with quite a bit of people in the field I'm in, and I don't, weirdly enough, don't know anybody who's on the left on just about anything. And I consider these people to be fairly educated. I mean, to give you a little bit of background, I'm a commercial pilot, and everyone I work with are commercial pilots. So,
Yeah.
and the fact that all the training we have to go through, how heavily educated they are. I disagree. I disagree a lot with that. I mean, why would you say that they're uneducated?
Because they have zero understanding of policy position. They have zero understanding of legislature. They have zero understanding of how executive power in the or how just the checks and balances in the United States work. And the people who do have an idea of this, they're just bad people. They don't care about other people. They just care about themselves. So they just vote in their own self-interest. So they're either educated or they don't give a shit.
Oh, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, no, it's just that they're either educated or they don't care about other people. They just care about their own self-interest.
I don't know about that because I know a lot of people like from what I've experienced in life. I know, and personal experience is kind of weird to bring up because I've never really debated much before. But the people on the left that I did know, they tended to be fairly self-centered, whereas a lot of the people that I know that are on the right tend to be a bit more accepting. Like
Okay,
I'm a black
friend.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Friend. Donald Trump is trying to remove the Department of Education. This will directly impact children with IEPs and cause children with developmental disabilities to get left behind in the fold. If somebody
how are they going to get left
for this,
behind? The Department of Education.
Do you know what an IEP does?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say that again.
Do you know what an IEP is?
No.
Okay. An IEP is an individualized education plan. What it does is it allows children with behavioral or developmental disabilities to have their education personalized to fit their disability or need. Part of this can be children with autism. They will have special accommodations set out for them through their IEPs so that way they can do better in school. Children who are dyslexic might have IEPs to help them do better. Children with behavioral issues will have IEPs to make them do better. IEPs are funded primarily through federal dollars from the Department of Education. When which he's planning to executive order away the Department of Education very soon. When he gets rid of that, IEPs will also go away, which means that children will not have their education individualized and they will fall behind and get left behind. IEPs save the educational lives of multiple children.
Oh yeah, that's like I absolutely agree with IEPs, but why does that have to be funded by the federal government? Why can't we just move that to the states?
So that way every student in America is receiving the same type of funding. Are we saying that children in Alabama are we saying children in Alabama should suffer because their state might not be able to fund IEPs the same way children in states like New York are able to?
Well, what we could do is from what I've heard from other people, is what we could do is that we could basically set federal standards, which is not the Department of Education. We could set federal standards saying, well, hey, you need to allocate this amount of money in your state budgets towards IEPs, for example, instead of having it be this big federal thing. I think, in my opinion, the more control the federal government has over certain things.
I'm sorry, if the states don't have the funding, how should they get the money for these plans?
Well, they can get money through the federal government. They can get federal grants, but we don't need an entire department for that. They can get federal grants.
One of the many things the Department of Education does. The Department of Education is a large department that does a lot of things. You won't be, first of all, you won't be able to get federal grants because Trump wants to get rid of all of those. He doesn't want to give out federal grants. He doesn't
That's
want to
not true,
use.
though.
Yes, it is. He
Well,
literally
because
just.
I'm literally in school and I'm still receiving federal
he-
money. I'm getting
He
federal loans
literally,
because I
if
can't
it
afford
wasn't
a
just
private loan.
blocked by a judge,
And they haven't been canceled.
Okay, so this is. I'm just gonna let you know. This is. You might. I don't know if you're MAGA, but you're showing that you are also uneducated. He literally just tried to freeze.
I wouldn't
all
consider
federal,
myself.
Please stop
But
talking.
the problem is,
Stop
I wouldn't
talking.
consider
Stop
myself
talking.
like totally
Please stop
MAGA.
talking.
I
Please stop
want.
talking.
I'd consider
Stop
myself
talking.
more
Stop.
center right.
Friend, I need you to stop talking.
Yeah.
He just
Oh,
tried
no problem. Sorry.
to put a total freeze on all federal grants. If it was not blocked by a district court judge, it would have gone through. So what do you mean he doesn't want to stop federal grants? He just tried to do it.
When I saw the press briefing the other day, and they literally outlined the fact that it wasn't going to affect anything personal. It wasn't going to affect Medicare, Medicaid, or
We're not talking about Medicare or Medicaid.
Like personal federal loans, and that's exactly what would be considered under what I'm doing, right?
No, we're talking about federal grants.
It's not effective.
These are federal grants and a federal loan are two different things. A loan has to be paid back. A grant does not.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I'm talking about a federal loan. I'm sorry. If I said grant, then that was my apologies. But yeah, I'm talking about federal loans.
Okay, great. So again, the grants that the federal government gives to states for education, especially those with IEPs, will be directly affected by removing the Department of Education. Are you okay with this?
Am I okay with federal grants being removed? It depends on the situation.
I'm giving you the
I don't think federal grants really give. I don't think the federal grants really give out that much money in the first place. They only give out like $2,000 or $3,000 to students. Last time I checked, and it's not really that much. And you can get a scholarship, if anything, if you really wanted the money.
Again, IEPs are directly funded through the IDEA, which is the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, and the ESSA, which is the Every Student Succeeds Act. These two fundings get funneled through the Department of Education to disseminate.
Why do they have to get funneled through them? Why can't they just be direct? Again, why can't they just be directly funded? And why do they have to go and be funneled through a department like that?
Great. Which group is going to handle giving the money appropriately to all of the students?
Well, I don't know. Like literally, it could be just it could literally just be a direct federal grant to them.
How would they know?
I'm not sure.
How would they know? Here, let me ask you a question. How would they know which states need which amount of money for the program? How would they know this if nobody is calculating?
Audits? I don't know.
Who's doing the audits?
I don't really know too much. To be fair to you, I don't really know too much about the Department of Education.
You would need a department to do the fucking audits, dude. You would literally need. That's what the Department of Education does. You would literally need a department to do the audits.
No, they do way more than audits.
Fuck, dude. Holy shit. Who's going to do the audits? You would need to create a department whose goal would be to do the audits so they could figure out how much money needs to go to each state, needs to go to each student. If they would need to be able to check that the states are actually doing this properly. You would need all of this. This is what the Department of Education already does. You want to remove the Department of Education just to recreate a goddamn Department of Education. It's fucking stupid. It's backwards. Am I living in a fucking... Am I in Wonderland? Did I fucking fall down the rabbit hole? Like, what is going on here? You just
to be honest with you, I don't really know too much about the Department of Education. So you're probably going to know more than me in this instance. So yeah,
that's what I'm talking about. Then
I can't really agree or disagree.
This is what I'm talking about. This is it. This is it. This is why I say MAGA is uneducated, because it's not that you're. Hold on, let me finish. It's not that you're stupid.
Oh, go ahead.
Right? It's that you didn't know. You didn't know. You were quite literally uneducated. I don't know
what
this topic, happening.
I mean, when I see that, I mean, my thought is, and from a lot of people that I see say the same thing, is that MAGA is stupid, or people who believe in that are stupid, and that they just don't know anything about anything, which I highly disagree with that. And I mean, would you agree with that? Do you think that they're like in general stupid people?
I think if you wear Trump paraphernalia and you go to all his rallies, yeah, you're probably stupid.
I've never went to a Trump rally before. I mean, I know people who have, but there's some people there that are kind of stupid. So I'm not gonna sit there and act like they're all the smartest people on earth. I'll definitely agree with you on that. I know I have quite a few issues with it myself. Because after that plane crash, how they were blaming it all on DEI, and they were saying, oh, it was black people that crashed the plane and all that stuff. You remember that?
Yeah, it happened like
it was
4 days ago.
Yeah, seriously. So I saw the press conference they made about it, and I was pissed off because, I'm black, I'm a commercial pilot, and I'm looking at that. I'm like, well, hold up. If they're going to sit there and blame this on DEI, and I'm going to be walking to the freaking gate, I don't want a bunch of old white people looking at me and going, oh, he's black, he's DEI, this is DEI, he's a DEI, I don't trust him. And I'm like, blaming this on DEI is so ridiculous when you have no idea about anything about aviation. So it's like, yeah, I do want to say, yes, am I uneducated about, what's going on in the Department of Education? Yeah, absolutely agree with that. Yes, I don't really know too much about it. But would I agree MAGA, like in general, are uneducated people? I'm not. I kind of disagree with that. I think everybody has their strong points in certain areas. So agree to disagree in this case.
No, okay, fine, sure, fine, cool. Agree to disagree. What the fuck ever.